Thank you for inviting me again. I've spoken to the organisation before, many years ago, and it's nice to be invited once. It's a huge privilege to be invited back. You know. What I'm totally aware of, and have been for some years now, is it's an imposition for me to be here at all, because as we've already heard, the experts in the field of men's violence against women are women. Yeah. But we do need men to be involved and to be working together with women and women's movements to end men's violence against women and girls. So, first thing I want to do is ask you to imagine a world without men's violence against women and girls. What do you think it would be like? Shout out some magic tips to me.
Beautiful.
Okay, beautiful.
Harmonious.
Harmonious.
Peaceful.
Peaceful.
Love.
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 Love. Lovely.
Happy.
Hang on, happy, and I missed peaceful, which is quite... Okay, one more.
Safe. Freedom.
Safe and free. Okay, hang on now. Who does not want to live in a world which is beautiful, harmonious, peaceful, lovely, happy, safe and free? So, my job is not rocket science. What is stopping us? Men. Yeah. It's funny, if you're in an audience with men in the audience, you don't often get people saying men, but if you're in an audience with women, they always say men. So, men, fear. Lack of education, absolutely.
Yourself.
Oneself, absolutely. And self-education is hugely important, which is why I love coming to events like this, because I learn a lot. Self-education. Trauma. Okay, one more.
Environment.
Yeah, do you want to expand a little bit on the environment?
I want to say that what Amina said, it's like to try and heal and cure the people who are, the men who do commit violence against women.
So,
we need to give attention to that.
yeah.
We have to give attention to that before they get to that point.
Working on sort of men and masculinity completely, yes. One of my colleagues does a lot of work on something called the man box, because a lot of men are trapped in being a man. But that's a whole nother lecture.
But
So
can I just add women as well? We said men, but there are a lot, it's not just men, it's women as well, equally, or we say?
well, you see, I wouldn't let you get away with saying women equally, but
Not
go on.
equally.
Yes.
Cultural and religious.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. So it's lack of education, it's us, our men's need for self-education, it's everybody's cultural background, it's the environment, etc. So, what do men specifically need to do?
Respect them.
Okay, that's another. Respect,
Women and their
listen, heal themselves, heal each other. Okay, and a couple more. Love, okay.
As this lady said, to be held to account.
Yes, accountability. Interestingly, there's an overwhelming organisation called, overreaching organisation called MENCARE, which is another UN organisation, which I do a little bit of work with, and they have done an awful lot of work on accountability to women's organisations, which is hugely important. And I feel very proud that at White Ribbon UK, we have worked in recent years, and I don't mean just had an exchange of views, but I've worked quite closely with over 20 women's organisations. And that's when people say, well, what do you do? We are held to account by them. They say to us, well, what shouldn't you be doing this? And we think, oh, maybe we should. So that's one thing about accountability. But our very, very first car sticker and badge said, ask, listen, respect. Ask women what they think, listen to what they say, and respect that by taking some action on what women have said. And so that's really the three things. And one of the things, of course, I would always say is what we want men to do is join in our campaign, which is Men Challenging Male Violence. Now, people say to me, have I done any work with perpetrators? And I went and done a little bit of work with perpetrators, but perpetrator groups usually involve about a dozen men meeting for a year, talking to each other about how they feel and stuff. Very important, and why they shouldn't be behaving in a particular way towards either their partners or women in general. But I don't want to work with a dozen men. I want to work with, 120,000 men, 12 million men. I want us to change the culture. And that's why White Ribbon exists, and that's why I'm talking to you a little bit about mass engagement. So tonight, the Irish football team are playing an international game, and they will be running onto the pitch with white ribbons on their shirts. And that's, for me, that's sort of symbolic. That makes a little bit of difference, because somebody will notice, and somebody might even go to our website and find out a little bit more about the organisation.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that the whole crowd will do that, but if 10 people do, it's the start. I started the organisation 15 years ago in the UK, but I've just based it on some work that men were doing in Canada. They then started doing the work in Canada after a man committed a mass shooting of women in Canada the year before. And they thought men had to do something about men's bizarre behaviour like that, and so they founded it. The sad news is that Amina came from Australia, but Australia White Ribbon has just gone into liquidation, and they were the biggest White Ribbon campaign in the world. And so someone has to try and re-energise that operation. We never got quite that big, and we have 4 full-time staff now, and I'm able to go around the country just giving talks. I don't have to do the office work and be the chief executive, so I'm the founder, now called the president. But that's how we try and do our mass engagement. So with a staff of 4 and a budget of about $200,000, there's only so much you can do. But we have 92 to 100 organisations accredited to White Ribbon, and they have a staff of 1.5 million. They serve a population of about 23 million, and they have spending power of about £20 billion. This time next week, I was due to be talking to the Ministry of Defence. However, everything's gone into purdah now and a lockdown, so they're saying, oh, that meeting may or may not happen. But can you imagine if we were able to get all the military barracks in the UK having workshops on respectful relationships, and not us doing it, but them training their own staff to do it, and us just sending some guidelines out there and saying this is how, look, some of the things you should be counting on. I'll give you a couple of examples of accredited organisations. There's one, Blackpool Council. It's a seaside town in the north of England.
Yeah.
Anybody here been to Blackpool?
I have.
Yeah, quite a few. Okay. Well, they have the Illuminations, which is just about finishing now. Okay. 3.5 million people go to the Illuminations. Well,
It's great.
one of the illuminated boards at the last year was a White Ribbon board, and it said, "Another world is possible." And on the back, on the bottom, it had our pledge. Now, without looking at your piece of paper, who can tell me what the White Ribbon, can anyone tell me what the White Ribbon pledge is? No, I'm not looking down, no cheating.
Men for elimination from violence.
Okay, it should say it's on the back. Does it say it on the back? Okay, so we had about 100,000 men sign that pledge. That's not enough. I mean, it should be 10 million, it should be 100 million, but it's a start. And again, you say, well, what's the big deal about somebody just signing a pledge?
It's serious.
It's a start. So what you want to do is get someone to sign it, then to actually say that, sign it on a form, and then put their signature by it, maybe have their photograph taken at the same time. All these are little commitments of them saying, oh yes, I agree with that. Yes, I'll say I agree with it. And people say, why are you taking my photograph? You say, because you agree with this principle. And all of those are little ways up the pyramid to changing behaviours, and more importantly, to engaging with other people about their behaviours, because we want those ambassadors, those men, to be talking to their relatives, to be talking to their friends, and to be talking about to their work colleagues as well, because as we will be talking about later, the workplace should be a safe place, and for some people it is a safe place, but not for everybody. So, as I say, Blackwall Council had the thing on the eliminations. They also had work going on in the college. They also had work going on in the religious communities, in the faith groups throughout the town. They also worked with their housing departments, with the police cadets, with the hospital, and with the nightclubs.
Wonderful.
We can't do that, but we can suggest to them that they should be doing that. And that's exactly how we get mass activity through the multiplier effect. I'm just going to end by a couple of things. Telling you how much we achieved last year, but also talking about the future. So last year, we had 773 ambassadors. That's up to about 1,000 now. We've got about 500 champions. These are women who promote White Ribbon because they think it's a good idea, and they talk to their organisations. We sold or gave away 50,000 ribbons. We had 156 events in places all around the country, and we've got something like 18,000 people following us on Twitter and about 10,000 on Facebook. So I would urge you to do that if you're remotely interested in social media. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and that's the start, because then you can see what we're doing, and then you may just think we should be doing that as well. I'm always impressed and pleased that people are doing work with faith groups. I've got a photograph on my notes here of the Pope receiving a delegation from White Ribbon Campaign, and the Archbishop of Canterbury is also in line to become a White Ribbon ambassador. So that's two important. You will find that this weekend an awful lot of the churches, the Church of England churches, will have things going on around the UN International Day to Eradicate Violence Against Women, and we supply them with notes about what to do. But I was feeling very pleased and talking to a group, a feminist conference group it was actually about 10 years ago, feeling very pleased. Oh, we're doing lots and lots of things for White Ribbon, making a bit of a difference, da da da. And someone said, I've got a question from the audience. Okay, what's your question? Why aren't you doing more? And I felt quite crushed by that. But I always repeat that question because actually we must do more. I am fortunate in that I have come from a family where I have not experienced any violence at all. I have not perpetrated any violence, but that violence remains my responsibility as a man unless I am out there talking to all my male friends, my male colleagues, and persuading us all to start behaving differently. And until that time happens, it is my responsibility for women who are attacked, who are coercively controlled, who are raped, who are murdered. All of those, it is our responsibility to do something about it. I look forward to being here for the rest of the afternoon and hearing people speak and learning from you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.